Camera's on, you can begin when you're ready.
Okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to discuss a previous essay that I did on does crime increase during a recession. There are many factors, I just name a few, that are the first signs of a recession. During the early stages of a recession or the mid stages of a recession, you will see a few things happening around the environment and the community. First of all, you will see jobs being lost. In the United States of America in 2008, 2 million jobs were lost. 2 million. And this can play a role from businesses resulting to eliminating staff because they can no longer afford to pay them. And that's why you have hundreds and thousands of jobs being lost. Second, you will see pay cuts. Certain businesses prefer not to make position redundant and just cut pays. You have the public sector as well as the private sector mostly resolving to pay cuts. And then third, you will see stock prices. In the recession, stock prices drop significantly. You're going to see a lot of prices dropping in the stock market, and that's some of the factors you'll notice in the beginning stages of recession. A crime report was done in 1990, the early 1990s, which recorded in Virginia, which is in the United States, property crimes increased from 237,000 plus to 266 plus. And violent crimes increased from 19,000 to 23,000 plus. And Suffolk, which is also in the United States, recorded a property crime of 300 to 500 plus. And violent crimes increased from 2,000 cases to 2,500 cases within the months.
Where's Suffolk?
Suffolk.
Never heard of it. There's one in England.
Yeah,
where is it?
There's one in England, but this one, at first when I saw this, I thought it was England, but when I looked, it was the United States. I did not know they had a Suffolk in the United States. I think Suffolk is basically closer to Portsmouth, I think. It's closer to Portsmouth in the UK.
No.
It's not? No. Okay. Thanks.
Sorry, just wondered.
In the 2008 recession, crime increased with burglaries whopping 97% an increase in the late 2008. 25% increase in robberies, 50% increase in vehicle thefts, and like I said previously before, 2 million jobs were lost that year. A lot of families are being broke down. You have persons committing domestic violence because the breadwinners, which are the male dominant breed, they're supposed to be the breadwinners for the family. They lose their job, then you have them resorting to either robbing, breaking into vehicles, or house burglaries. And questions? Anyone? With my conclusion, comparing the 2 years, it's an arguable point that you can say that crime does increase during a recession. Looking at the two different recession periods, you can arguably say that crime does increase.
Go back to your crime slide, please.
Which
Thanks.
one? Crime report or?
That one.
Sure.
Okay, you just pulled up two examples. What you haven't explained to us is why we're looking at Virginia and Suffolk. There's no context to it. I mean, you're showing us one where you've got 250,000 crimes,
Right.
and one where there's 500. You've got to explain to us why are we looking at this? And why are you looking at one very small? Why is it very, very small? Why is one very high? Why is it very, very high?
Right, which is a good point. If you're looking at in Virginia, which is it's a huge number, you would expect crime to be huge, and it did increase by it looks to be 34,000. I'm assuming. Probably my math is wrong. And in a smaller community like Suffolk, which had only 300.
So it's a small community. So how many people live in Suffolk?
I don't know the population.
So why are you showing us something you don't know anything about?
And what's the time period as well?
Yeah.
All of this was 1990.
But over the whole decade, or
1 year? Or?
It was the beginning. It was the beginning stage of the early 1990s.
Right, but we need the dates, because if it's the whole decade, the increases might be explained by, say, population growth.
that's right.
Could be the same percentage.
Right.
So, you've got to use your numbers more scientifically.
Yes.
And use them to say something.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just showing us some numbers.
Right.
I mean, maybe in Suffolk they got a new sheriff who's much better at detecting crime. That's what we call superficial, isn't it?
Okay.
Next slide, please, Robert. Where?
You
You didn't tell us where.
Well, most of these information was attracted from the United States. I couldn't find in my previous essay. I couldn't find information or statistics on the crime rates in the UK. It was a bit difficult for me, so I had to do something that I was pretty familiar with, which was the United States.
And is that over the whole country, or
yes.
particular states?
This basically was the whole country. Yes.
So you're saying to us,
Yes.
but in a town which in 2007
Yeah.
had 100 burglaries,
Yes.
in 2008 it had 197 burglaries. Where's the reference? I want to go and see that statistic for real. Where's the reference?
And are you comparing
It's gotta
like
be
with
here.
like? For example, the lost jobs, is that in the same area in which these increases
And the same
happened?
time.
At the same time.
Well, yeah. In 2008, it was. Generally, in 2008, 2 million jobs was lost. I did have that. I got that from an article. So.